From the marble corridors of ancient Rome, from the golden age of empires and legions, where wars shaped the destiny of nations and the weight of the world rested upon the shoulders of one man, there rose a voice unlike any other. It was calm, composed, and serene amidst chaos, a voice that belonged not merely to an emperor but to a philosopher, to a soul who understood that the greatest empire one could ever rule was not made of land or armies but of the mind itself. That man was Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Emperor, the ruler who mastered himself before he sought to master the world. He reigned over millions, commanded legions, faced betrayal, plague, and war, and yet every night in the stillness of his tent beneath the Roman stars, he opened his journal and wrote not about conquests or victories, but about discipline, virtue, and peace. Those writings would later be known as Meditations, the private dialogue between a king and his soul. It was never meant to be read by others, and yet centuries later it became one of humanity's most sacred texts, because in those pages lives the voice of a man who walked through storms and found stillness, a man who faced chaos and chose clarity, a man who learned that true power is not in controlling others but in mastering the self. These are the 5 eternal principles of the Stoic Emperor, the wisdom that guided Marcus Aurelius through darkness, and can still awaken the infinite intelligence within you. 1. Rule the inner kingdom. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He knew that the only true empire is the one you build within. The world outside will always tremble, kingdoms will rise and fall, people will praise and betray, fortune will give and take. But your inner world, that is your fortress. When the storm comes, the weak look for shelter. The wise become the shelter. Your thoughts are your army, your emotions, your subjects, and your awareness, your throne. To rule the inner kingdom means to stop being a victim of circumstances. It means understanding that no one can make you angry, fearful, or anxious unless you give them permission. Power then is not the absence of chaos but calmness within it. That is the mark of a true emperor. Marcus was surrounded by war and disease, yet his heart remained untouched. He was the living embodiment of serenity amidst the storm. His crown was discipline. His weapon was understanding. His empire his own mind. 2. Surrender to what you cannot control. Marcus taught that suffering is born not from what happens but from our resistance to what happens. The river flows, the seasons change, and time erases all things. The wise do not fight the flow, they become one with it. Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, he wrote, for what could more aptly fit your needs? To accept does not mean to surrender in weakness. It means to align with the divine order that moves through all things. It means recognizing that behind every event, even pain, there is wisdom unfolding. When you accept the inevitable, peace replaces resistance, and peace opens the door to understanding. Aurelius faced betrayal, the death of his children, the collapse of empires, yet never bitterness. He accepted imperfection as a reflection of the divine whole. For him, the universe was alive, intelligent, and perfect in its unfolding. And when you align with that intelligence, even the greatest tragedy becomes part of your awakening. 3. Live in harmony with nature. Marcus. Nature was not merely trees, rivers, or stars, it was the logos, the living intelligence that governs all life. To live according to nature meant to act with integrity, humility, and purpose, to move with the flow of universal law. He believed that every human being is a spark of this great intelligence. When you think, when you breathe, when you choose kindness instead of anger, you are aligning with the rhythm of the cosmos. Modern life blinds us to this truth. We rush, consume, and chase illusions, forgetting that nature asks nothing, only that we live sincerely. Marcus wrote, "All things are interwoven. A sacred bond unites them. There is one universe made up of all things, and one God pervading them all. To live according to nature is to return home to yourself. It is to listen to silence, to walk slowly, to honor the divine in every being. It is to realize that the infinite is not beyond the stars, it is breathing through you right now, for, remember, all things Fasoni of the Emperor's deepest reflections was on impermanence. He meditated daily on death not out of despair but out of reverence for life. He would remind himself, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Every sunrise, every conversation, every breath will never return. To cling to moments is to suffer. To let them pass is to live. Empires fade. Names are forgotten. Even the stars die in silence. But the one who embraces impermanence discovers eternity, for when you accept that all things die, you begin to live as if every heartbeat were sacred. Marcus faced mortality every day not as a curse but as a teacher. He knew that the soul's purpose was not to last forever but to awaken here, in this moment. So when you remember impermanence, you begin to love without fear, to give without attachment, to live without regret. You begin to see that everything passing through your hands was never yours, it was the universe. Borrowing your touch. 5. Serve the whole with virtue above all. Marcus believed that life's purpose was service not to oneself, but to the whole. He wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee. We are all connected, cells of one cosmic body. When we act selfishly, we harm the system that sustains us. When we act with justice, compassion, and humility, we harmonize with infinite intelligence itself." Virtue for Marcus was the only true good. Wealth, fame, and pleasure fade, but character that is eternal. Every act of kindness is an offering to the divine. Every moment of patience, every decision born from wisdom rather than impulse is an act of creation, a step closer to godlike consciousness. For Marcus, virtue was not moral rigidity. It was harmony between thought, action, and soul. It was knowing that the universe flows through you, and that to serve others is to serve yourself, for there is no separation. The eternal reflection. Marcus Aurelius was not a man of marble, he was a man of storms, discipline, and compassion. He wrote his truths alone in the cold camps of war, under candlelight, not as an emperor seeking glory but as a soul seeking God. His writings survive because truth cannot die. They echo across millennia because every human heart still wrestles with chaos, fear, and the longing for peace. He showed us that we cannot escape life but we can transform our experience of it. That the universe is not our enemy, it is our mirror. When you master your thoughts, when you accept the flow, when you live in harmony with nature, when you embrace impermanence, and when you act with virtue, you become invincible. The crown of a true king is consciousness. The empire of the wise is silence. And the victory of the awakened soul is peace. Remember this, you are not here to rule others. You are here to rule yourself. And in doing so, you rule the universe.